right, group number 2, we have Wombat Spirit, the number 68, which actually turns into a 14 and then eventually becomes a 5 again. So it carries a little bit of the same energy of the 5, which is all about change, rebirth, this energy of restlessness, needing to do, go, transform. Not necessarily transform. In this case, the 5 has given me that energy. Across the board, I'm getting that energy, but specifically, and I didn't even read the bat spirit, but I am going to read the woman spirit, the wombat spirit. I don't know why I keep saying woman, the womb man, or the woman, right? Be at home. Burrowing deep into the ground, remaining safe, sound, and well fed with family is a special trait of the wombat. Home sweet home is always available if you recognize that well-being is the truth of life. Okay. Wombat spirit reminds you that to truly be at home in a world, you need to find comfort within your own skin. Kind of like coming home to self, right? Being okay with you. You do this by accepting all of your experiences without judgment through a deep honesty and love of life. When you feel the freedom to be yourself, you can begin to truly feel at home in your life with your family and tribe. Right now, you're in a beautiful place where you can hang up your coat of identity and settle into a true sense of home and well-being. Understanding that all is well, everything you do from this place rings true in harmony with spirit. Okay, so it's kind of like, a coming home to self moment. Having this moment where you just okay with who you are, okay with your experiences, just coming to acceptance that it is what it is. Okay. And it could be that you're not really feeling comfortable in your own skin right now, thinking that the only way that you can be with others is to hide under this protective mask or an identity that you've created to protect yourself from getting hurt. This mask or persona is supposed to make you look strong, but really it just robs you of your own personal integrity. So the wombat spirit arrives to nudge you, right? To nudge you a little bit, to drop the false masks, because it's not others who will hurt you now. It is you who are hurting yourself when you aren't being authentic, right? It's okay. You can course correct if you're willing to be yourself, no matter what comes, no matter who goes, right? I am a firm believer that those who are meant to align and be beside you or to walk with you already know, and they're okay with who you are. You don't have to hide. As a matter of fact, until you're willing to stand in your authenticity, in who you truly are, you can't even attract those who align with you because your energy signature is distorted, right? So it's when you decide to stand in who you are unapologetically, that's when you begin to align with those who are called to align with you, because they can hear the frequency. It's like turning on your radio and tuning to a certain channel that you want to hear, right? They're able to tune to that frequency when you're standing in it. If you're not even sure what that is, neither are they. Even if others are not in agreement with your authenticity, you are safe with spirit, okay? And so there's something about that coming out here with wombat spirit. This is all about you standing, coming home to self, and really accepting what it is right now, okay? All of your experiences up until this point, there's something very important about you accepting that in this moment, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and pull some T card oracles to see what comes out. First of all, I have July coming out, okay? We are about to head into July. And then I have Fox coming out as well. I have Apple, okay? I have Torch, and I have Wheel. All right. So something very significant about July, where you will maybe have an opportunity for some of you to shine. I'm hearing that word. You'll be able to shine in some type of a way. This may have something to do with you stepping into your true, authentic self. There's an appointed moment in time I'm feeling here. And it may come across as like a test too. It's like, should I really allow my true self to come out? Should I really allow myself to go after that thing that I feel like is really aligned with my highest, truest self? Because whether or not you're standing in your authentic energy right now, you could be in a place right now where you have on a mask. You feel like you have to show up a certain way or do things a certain way to fit in, or, so people don't see exactly really what's ringing true in your heart. There's a moment that's going to come, and this may be in July for you. This group is, I forgot to say the signs of this group. This group is Leo, Virgo, Libra, and Scorpio. Okay. So you may or may not be standing in your true authentic selves. You may find yourself standing with masks on because you are not sure what will happen if you take off the mask and allow your truest, most purest essence to be seen. But there's some test I feel like that will come in July that will test you. It will maybe test your character, maybe test your authenticity, maybe test your willingness to really just be yourself and be honest about who you are. Okay. I also feel like what's coming out is you being very sharp, very equipped when it comes to business here. For some of you, that may be you allowing yourself to operate in that energy when it comes to business and not shying away from that, not undercutting your knowledge or what you know, or not shying away from a challenge, right? When it comes to business, Fox is all about shrewdness and resourcefulness, especially as it pertains to business. And so there may be some challenges that come in here around you really standing on what it is that you know when it comes to you dealing with others. It could have something to do with money. It could have something to do with resources or some type of collaboration or some type of exchange, some type of deal that you are currently dealing with. For some of you, I do see spiritual development with Torch here, some type of enlightenment, awareness, and understanding. That may absolutely be around you having an opportunity to shed light on places where Spirit wants you to see more clearly and no longer compromise who you are, how you feel, how you need to show up in a situation. Because I really do feel like there is something, it's almost like some kind of test that is going to be dependent upon how you show up, how you allow yourself to be seen. And if it is your true self, what will align with that? What's meant for you is only for you, but sometimes it can only show up when we're correctly aligned, right? And so there's some type of test coming in and how you will show up, how you allow yourself to show up. The wheel comes in with indecisiveness and just not having a lot of specific intention. This might also be a time of clarified intention coming in here too. What are you aiming at? Like, what are you trying to do here? I do sense a bit of indecisiveness, not really even knowing. Spirit may be asking you to get clear, and that clarity will come from you aligning within your authentic self. Maybe that's why it's unclear, because you're not even really sure, where it is that you are. Maybe you feel lost in the sauce right now. I don't know. But there is a calling of coming home to self. Come back to who you know yourself to be, who you have always been. Let's get more energy on this. Thank you, Spirit. What's going on with Wombat Spirit? King of Swords comes out here. This is your current energy. Not really being very emotional. I feel like I'm talking to someone who is very mentally driven, very intellectual. As it pertains to your connections, as it pertains to your relationships, right? You're very intellectual and diplomatic, You could be somebody that wants to see justice being done or wants to do things right. You could have this very take charge type of energy as well. Very leadership oriented, very direct. You could be in this energy right now I just see you watching things very closely, very intently. And I don't know if there's just a lot of drama going on in your situation, in your environment. The Five of Wands talks about, and it doesn't have to be drama, it could be, this could also be a lack of structure, a lack of organization too within your environment or your situation. Now, if it is that drama energy, this could talk about tensions with your connections, tensions at home, with family, in the workplace. This could also talk about, talking, lots of aimless talking happening around you. Hopefully, this is not coming from you, right? But I do see that energy around you in the environment. There's just lots of talk that's happening. Maybe fighting, arguing, maybe a need to let go of the ego as well. In the environment, I just see lots of, and it feels like drama, confusion, but there's an opportunity here to let something go, to sit something down. I feel like for someone, there's just a lot that's being carried and it's heavy. The Ten of Wands is a burden. And this comes through as an opportunity to sit this down. I feel like you could be carrying a lot of stuff that's not yours to carry. Nobody asked you to carry it. Why are you carrying it? I feel Spirit is asking you that. You can sit that down at any time. And when you sit it down, you'll find that things feel much lighter, first of all. And you can do more, second of all. And third, you're able to go further when the load is not as heavy, right? So there's a lot Spirit may be pointing to that you can sit down whenever you're ready. Nobody has asked for you to carry this. And this could be taking on too much. This could be volunteering to do this and that. And for people or situations that can very much do it themselves, taking on too much to the point where you burn yourself out. This is an opportunity to sit these things down. It could also talk about just having a difficult time in your connections. You feel burdened or heavy. Could that be because of the masks? Feeling like you can't show up as your authentic self, feeling like you have to hide some part of yourself. That in itself can be very heavy. And so for someone, taking off the mask of who you're really not could be you carrying this heavy burden, right? Having that mask on, taking it off could be you sitting this burden down. And that in itself can be heavy, feeling like you have a mask on or you're not really showing up as yourself. Like there's a lot of performance that happens there. There's a lot of doing, a lot of proving, a lot of, unnecessary rambling that happens when we wear a mask, because we're constantly trying to cover up or make it look a certain way. There's just lots of performance around that. So far, I have lots of wands coming out. The Eight of Wands comes out as well. Spirit is saying that there are some messages coming towards you. Fast, frequent, heavy messages coming towards you. This is within your connections. I also feel like for some of you, you'll be under fire here. Like there's some tests that's coming. Like I was saying with the Oracle, there's some specific tests that's going to come in and test your authenticity. That's going to test your integrity. It's going to test your honesty, right? And these are tests that you won't have a lot of time to think about. Like you'll have a split second decision on how to respond. Is it going to be out of your authenticity or how you feel you should show up according to how you feel like others are perceiving you? The one thing about not having on a mask is it don't matter, right? Whatever the response is, when it's authentic, that's just what it is. And it doesn't matter if they come back a minute later and try it again or a year later. When you're in your authenticity, it's always going to be what it is. And it's not going to change. Whatever the situation, right? Whether it's is going the way you always wanted it to go, or whether you feel like you're walking through the hottest fire that you've ever walked through in life. When you're in your authenticity, the response is always going to be the same, right? It's going to come from a heart space from an authentic space of who you are. So I hear Spirit saying that is why you're being called back home, and to pay attention to where you're operating from. There's some tests that will come, I feel like. And if you are operating from a very authentic space, you don't have to worry about the response. It's going to be true. Whatever comes out is going to be true if you are in your authenticity. But if you're not, right, it could feel like this 10 of Wands. 6-6 could be significant for whoever you are. Have the 6 of Pentacles and the 6 of Wands. So this is all about you being successful. I feel like for whoever you are, there's some reciprocation, some sharing, some team work that's on the table here for you. There's something about connecting that's very relevant here for you, my second group, for Wombat Spirit. I feel like you will receive a lot of support during this time. You may also be looked at for support too. You also may have people coming to you for support. Maybe you've been seen as someone very successful, and people may want to know, or they may come to ask for assistance in some type of way from you. But this is all about you finding your happiness and success, you being encouraged, and maybe even, having some level of notoriety too for what you do, for your accomplishments, for who you are. I see that. That's what this is about. And when that moment comes, I feel like Spirit is saying it's important for you to be standing in your authentic self. There's lots of successes that is connected to you. And that success is going to draw people to you, or cause people to align themselves with you. Now, who do you want to align? Do you want to align people that are attached to who you pretend to be, that may change on any given day? Or do you want to align people who accept you for who you are at your worst moment and at your best moment, right? And so there's something about that coming out here. There are moments that are about to arise for you that's going to be very, very important. It's going to set the groundwork in some type of way for your connections. The Ace of Swords comes out in the near future, giving a lot of motivational energy. Whatever the adversity, whatever the challenges come out, the Ace of Swords, did I say swords or wands? I meant to say swords. The Ace of Swords gives you the mental clarity, right? For the King of Swords, it gives you the mental clarity that you need to rise above any challenges that come in with your connections. I feel like there's just this truth that you have that you will be able to stand on, this very healing truth that will serve you very well in your connections. And also that will play as a sense of protection as well. I'm hearing that too. And I don't know if you will be heading into like new jobs. I'm hearing that someone will be stepping into new positions, new jobs here that are possible. Maybe even getting clarity on what that is. You may be contemplating where you're going next, or being inspired. That's coming in here in the future as well. Now, again, coming home to self is important, because where you find yourself in the future, if it is aligned with your authentic self, like that's going to be an effortless sense of fulfillment for you. When you're aligned in your authentic self, kind of like what you align with as far as your desires, it doesn't feel heavy when it's aligned. One of the things my grandma would always tell me is do something that you love so that you don't have to feel like you're working, right? When you choose something that you love to do as a job or a career, you'll never have to work a day in your life, because it feels like some type of creative project, like, you know, that's coming out here for me. So for some of you, you may be transitioning or getting ideas of what you're going to do next. Lots of inspirational energy coming towards you in the future. Page of Swords. I don't know if someone has studied something in the past. I feel like for some of you, you'll be circling back around to something that you did in the past, that you studied in the past, some type of project. For some of you, this could be pulling something off of the shelf and getting it going again. For some of you, this will be stepping away from certain situations, certain connections, certain immature communication styles. That's the best I can put it. When it comes to your connections, I feel like in the past, there were certain ways of communicating that wasn't very helpful. You may be stepping away from that as you move forward, or giving a lot of thought to that, I'm hearing. You are being seen right now in the Six of Cups. Six of Cups is really good energy. Someone could see you. There's something very nostalgic about you. It almost feels like you could remind someone of like an aunt or an uncle or a sister or a brother, or maybe even a mother, grandmother. There's some nostalgic energy here. How people are seeing you, how people will see you as someone who leaves a good imprint on people. When people remember you, they think good thoughts, right? They think of good times. There could be someone from your past that may be arising here. Someone from your past is thinking about you, and it's good thoughts. That may see themselves getting together with you at some point in time. They may see you differently from the last time they saw you, in a higher light. Yeah. I do see people also seeing you as being inspired to get something on the road, to put something in motion when it comes to your finances. It's almost like there's some excitement that you are dredging up, right? Pumping yourself up about taking some step of some kind. We're going to clarify that a little later to find out why the Six of Cups. The sixes always remind me of coming home to self. I feel like there's some truth that you will be admitting that you should have done a long time ago, or that you maybe regret not taking, more seriously. There's something that you'll be admitting even to yourself about this, but we'll definitely clarify that. I'm going to pull a couple of cards first. I do have the Eight of Cups coming out in the immediate future. And so there's some level up that you are ready to take, that you are about to embark upon. The Eight of Cups is like looking at all that you've had an opportunity to experience. It's like, okay, I guess I must be ready, right? Because I've exhausted all of these cups. There's nothing really left here for me. Only thing that I have to do is move forward, right? There's no growth here anymore. I'm ready to move forward. You have decided that you're ready, okay? You've decided that you're done with where you are right now. You want to experience something else. And with that, you're hoping to not only have new experiences, but even meet new people, expand your community or your inner group. Maybe you want to bring your inner group with you. I do feel that with the Three of Cups. There's some desire. I feel like you are a social person. This is something that's really important to you, being able to socialize where you're going, or being able to relate to people where you're going. It's almost like, I hope I can not only be myself, but also like feel at home, you know, where this is taking me. I hope this is going to be something that's going to feel safe, feel comfortable. And I feel like the fact that the Three of Cups comes out means that it will. And when that happens, that actually is going to open the door to more profits, right? There's something about when you have more than one person that's like on the same energy frequency, it multiplies the abundance, right? And so I feel like you will be kind of like meeting a soul tribe, or more of your soul tribe where you're going. This is also going to be something to bring in more peace and more stability for you as well. Whatever this is, I feel like will also bring a higher level of stability and calm. Whatever you're moving away from, it's definitely going to be something different. And it's going to improve, whether you are moving to a whole nother job situation or whether you're moving to a whole nother space, it's going to improve, okay, your work situation overall. Yeah. So this is all about you being successful and getting what you need. You have a lot of support around you. For some of you, this is about you helping others, right? Get to where you are. And that doesn't necessarily have to be with the job. That could just be, you know, maybe financially. Someone will be coming to you to receive assistance. Okay, I'm going to pull some houses, signs, and planets, astrology energy for Wombat Spirit. This is amazing. So I have the same two cards that came out for my first group, the Bat Spirit, the second and the seventh house, which is all about your values, your beliefs, your resources, how you're viewing that. You know, there's something that Spirit's been talking about lately, is about aligning all the different aspects of our being, of our existence, our spiritual, our physical, and the mental, like aligning all these different aspects. I feel like that energy is coming out for you, my Wombat Spirit. When you're coming home to self, you're looking at all these different aspects of your being, your attitudes towards those. Does it align with what you truly believe at the center of your being? So that may be kind of like the energy coming out for you right now in the second and the seventh house, because the seventh house talks about your connections, dealing diplomatically, and not only being in this very fair energy, but also expecting that too, right? Expecting it too, a sense of fairness in your connections and your relationships. I feel like for some of you, examining your beliefs, like what it is that you value, how you look at money, how you look at materials, how you look at the practical sense of your life is important here. I also have the first house and the 11th house. So who you are, of course, is coming out, because that's what we're talking about. When we look at the first house, we're talking about our identity and how that affects what it is that we want out of life, our desires, and then taking a look at how we go after that. Those things are coming out for you in the first house. And then the 11th house is taking a look outwardly at humanity and how you connect on that level, going from the micro to the macro. How does your micro connect you to the macro? What is your desire when you look out at the world? And how do you connect that to what it is that you want? And how you move in that way, and how that connects to your future. Like how you invest your being, your time, your resources, what you value, whatever that is, and how that connects to your future as you look out and move, right? There's some scope with the 11th house of you not just moving in a way that's beneficial for you, but it's moving in a way that's beneficial for humanity's sake as well. Okay, what do you think when you think of your ability to contribute? What is your contribution, right, to humanity? These are things that are coming up. Now, if you are someone who is familiar with your birth chart, you can definitely look in the second house, in the seventh house, in the first house, and the 11th house to find out what is there. And this will give you more information on how that may be showing up right now for you. And if you're not sure what that is, just to give you an example, like say if you have your second house, your beliefs, right? And you have in your second house, Capricorn, right? Capricorn is very aggressive when it comes to getting things done, when it comes to realizing what it is that they want to see. Capricorn is very orderly, very resourceful. So if you have Capricorn in the second house, that says when it comes to your belief, you absolutely exercise that. For a Capricorn, you're going to see them very active and, acting out their beliefs, not just talking about it, but they're actually expressing that. They're showing up in the world doing that. They're very active through their beliefs as Capricorns. And they find ways to get involved, to be expressive, to act out those beliefs. That's just an example, but that's how you can kind of connect and get more information when we're talking about the houses. Lastly, we have Libra, which is a very beautiful energy. This Libran energy, I almost feel like people see you in a very beautiful aesthetic way. My second group, people may see a lot of good with being connected to you. When you walk away, you leave people feeling better than when they first came. They may leave feeling better. There's something about you that is very inviting. There's something about you that's very inviting and that is open and definitely collaborative, right? Libra is all about connection. It's all about the energy that we give off, that we put out, and the beauty of being attractive, right? This is the energy that is coming out for you. It's very beautiful, very alluring, very attractive. Again, which makes it that much more important to be in your authentic energy. There's something about that that's really powerful with Libra coming out. This is giving me Empress energy. I'm going to get one last message that Spirit may want you to know for my Wombat Spirit, really about coming home to self. I feel like there's some very important things that are approaching right now that will require for you to be really standing in your authenticity, willing to come hell or high water. Before I do that, I did want to clarify the Six of Cups. Why are you being seen in the Six of Cups? The Seven of Wands and the Eight of Swords. Because there's something about you that it almost like with the Seven of Wands and the Eight of Swords, these two can sometimes appear as very restrictive energies. And when I say restrictive, I mean how people see themselves. Like, it's like, well, I can't do that. That would cause me to be too vulnerable, too open. Oh no, I'm scared to do, right? There's something about you that disarms people. I feel like that's what the Six of Cups is saying, that there's something about you that's very disarming. Like there's a power that you carry. There's a level of effectiveness and drawing that you carry that is very helpful for people. That Libran energy is making a lot of sense too, because that's the energy we're talking about, something that's very beautiful, that's very inviting. It feels very safe, right? But I feel like this is the energy that you tap into in your authentic self. In your authentic self. I feel like there's definitely a lot of energy that you will be thinking about because there's some test, going back to that energy, there's some test that's coming that's going to require for you to be in your authentic energy, who you really are behind the mask, who you want people to see, may or may not be who you really are, but Spirit is asking you to show up as your authentic self, unfiltered, unadulterated, because that's where the power is. That's where the power lies, to disarm others. But this energy is one that is, with the King of Swords, it's one that is fair and is just, and that is, um, you know, one that wants to see the right thing done, one that wants to do the right thing. It's unbiased. So take that as it resonates. I feel like my message has come to confirm what you already know, or it will ring true within. And so if it resonates, take it. If it doesn't, then it may be for someone else. But that's what that Six of Cups is. It talks about you having this very beautiful energy that disarms others. They walk away feeling better than they did when they came. Okay, that's powerful. That's powerful. And so the last messages I have is the High Lord of Gratitude and Service. There's something about you being or having this very beautiful energy, kind of like a go-to person, a guru. Not necessarily a guru, that's not the right word. When I think of people like Buddha, see this man? Like people like Buddha, or I'm going to even say Jesus, right? We think of these ascended masters who had certain experiences in the physical realm and then accomplished great levels of service and established great energies of gratitude in the earth realm. Like for whoever you are, you may in fact carry this kind of energy when you are in your authentic energy. That's the key. And for some of us, Spirit is telling me that this may be something that was stripped, is one word that I'm getting. Another word is something that you learn to avoid, or you substituted it for something else. Maybe because you thought that you being something other than what you was going to be more acceptable, more effective. There's many reasons why we opt to be something other than we're not as we're growing up. It's like kind of survival mechanisms or coping mechanisms, whatever it is. It's almost like there's some reason why you learn to gravitate away from that authentic part of who you are, and allowed other things to come in and settle in its place. However, our authentic self never leaves us, right? That's why we call it coming home to self. It's always there. We're being invited back to that space, that very powerful, very authentic space. For someone, this is what that looks like. It's very selfless and humble is the word I'm getting. And it's aware, it's conscious, it's powerful. See all that light around his crown? It's very powerful. And Spirit is saying, kind of like, this is the energy that you carry. It's very inviting and life-changing. Like for some of you, you have the ability just to be around people. You don't ever have to say anything. Just you being in the environment has the potential to change, other people's perspectives on life or other people's experience. Have you ever been around somebody that just being in their presence was life-changing? I got some stories for you. Okay. We're going to talk about this one time, but this is part of the reason why I ended up on this spiritual journey, because some of the experiences that I've had have been like mind blowing. And it just further clarified the fact that there is something more than what we have allowed ourselves to experience. Period. And one thing you cannot argue is your experience. You cannot argue your testimony, right? But there's something about you being in your authentic energy that's powerful. Then we have the Ice Queen, the Prison Waif, and the Map Maker of Destiny. And what I'm getting immediately is like, yeah, there has been some things that's challenged you, for some of you even growing up, but it's all been a part of your journey, a part of your destiny, and a part of you coming to the realization, even to this point. The Map Maker of Destiny talks about authentic. Again, there's that word, authentic purpose, right? There's something about where you are right now that's leading you to where you're supposed to be. Because I don't want you to walk away from this message feeling like, oh, I just spent the last 30, 40 years just wasting time. No, that was time well spent. There was valuable lessons, valuable experiences that led you right to where you are right now, to your authentic purpose. None of it was a mistake, right? It was all part of your path, of your plan. Okay, Mapmaker of Destiny lets us know that we all have a, what do I want to call it? We all have a, it's almost like we all have a mapped path for life that we walk on. And it's not a straight line. It's up and down, it's in and out, it goes back and then back forward. Like, but it's yours. It's your map. It's your destiny map, right? And so there's something about authentic purpose, right? And this is the purpose that aligns with your authenticity, right? And so there's something about, again, aligning, coming home to self, right? That's where your inspiration is. And tapping into your free will. Part of that is escaping any places where we have been caught in someone else's desire for our lives, someone else's plan for our lives, escaping that. Free will says that there are many paths that you can take, but to find the one that aligns with your authentic self, right? You don't necessarily have to go that path, right? It's there. Free will says that you have to choose it. It's up to you. You don't have to choose it, right? You could very well continue to go as you're going. You don't have to come home to self, right? You may feel more comfortable, on the path that you've been on. By all means, it is up to you. The map maker of destiny points to that energy of having many paths, right? There is a destiny set for you, but this is about you creating that. You creating that by the choices that you make, okay? You have free will. Prison wave deals with the energy of self-sabotage, maybe even dealing with the energy of imposter syndrome. It's like when you step into that energy of authenticity and start to realize your power, it's like, well, who am I? To be great. One of my most favorite poems. I don't know why this is coming up again. Maybe somebody watched my other video and related to this. There's a poem by Mary Ann Williamson who talks about the fact that being small or shrinking yourself so that other people don't feel, they don't feel offended or intimidated by you. Like that, you weren't called to do that. You were called to stand in your authenticity, to show up in your greatness and everything that has been placed in you when it comes to your destiny and your purpose, to do all of that, to stand in those shoes boldly, to sit in that seat tall, right? Who are you not to do that when those seeds were planted in you to sprout, right? To blossom, to flourish. But self-sabotage many times will override that. It's like the weeds that will cover those seeds so that they never actually reach their full potential, or they never get to really shine the way that they're supposed to, because they're being covered by the seeds or by the weeds of self-sabotage, or these other things like poverty consciousness. Again, going back to kind of some of the ways that we have experienced life on our path sometimes can be self-defeating, or it can plant seeds of self-destruction or low self-esteem, and I don't know why this is coming up, but I'm going to share it. I did have this could, relate to someone, an experience when I was in this particular setting. It was a religious setting, and I had the experience of seeing this one particular person who had it wasn't a business, but I guess this person opened their homes up to foster children. and she had a couple of teenage foster girls. And it always was just so disheartening to see the treatment of these young ladies, beautiful, beautiful young ladies. But there was this dynamic to the relationship that was so unhealthy, and it was so heartbreaking to see it. And I saw her walking with these two young teenage girls, and the girl, one of the girls was, full of life. You know how we are when we're young teenage girls. We're just really perky and full of life and just flamboyant, and life is good. And, we're all walking in the same direction, where we were going. And the girl was just, just full of life and happy and jolly. And she began to walk a little bit faster and surpass the person that was parenting her. And the person looked at her and said, "Don't you walk in front of me. Get your butt behind me. Don't you walk in front," and it's like, what? What are you talking about? Like, what kind of mess is that? How could that at all be good for anybody's self-esteem? That was so heart-wrenching to see that. But just like stuff like that could potentially damage someone's self-esteem later in life and possibly cause them to take on the disposition that they are supposed to be beneath someone. Like, oh, I can never be too happy to where I allow myself to, allow the energy to lead me, to just be free flowing and to go and to move, right? I always have to be conscious that I don't stand too tall or shine too bright, that I, cause other people to be or to feel inferior, which has nothing to do with you. You shining your light should be an encouragement for others to shine theirs, and it should inspire others to lift you up and encourage you, right? In my mind, the response of that foster parent should have been, "Look at my girls, feeling good, happy and full of life. Go on, girl. She's so happy. She can't wait to get to where she's going." Not, "What are you doing? Get your butt behind me. Don't you walk in front of me." What kind of mess is that? But this prison wave, self-sabotage, poverty consciousness, stuff like this comes from certain experiences, sometimes that we don't deserve. Like, we had nothing to do with that, but sometimes we find ourselves having to heal from things that many times later in life we realize we've been carrying that. And not only have we been carrying it, it has shaped how we have moved through life. And so that was just an example, and Spirit gave me that as an example. But the last one is the Ice Queen, putting something on ice. There may be ideas. We did bring out this Ace of Swords, the King of Swords, the Page of Swords. These are all about mental thoughts. We got lots of wands coming out here too. But there's something Spirit is saying, hold on. These ideas that you are about to be given, don't share them, but keep them to yourself. And the thing about that is sometimes as we are being given these ideas, these divine inspirations, and we are eager about them and we go and we share them to people that aren't necessarily ready to hear them, those ideas get snuffled before you even get a chance to try to bring them into the 3D. And so for that reason, Spirit is saying, preserve those ideas. Don't share them. Keep them to yourself until they are actually birthed. Okay? So for whoever you are, these ideas that you're being given about your future, put them on ice, right? For some of them, you may not even be being guided to take action. You are just being given the vision. And then it's going to slowly cultivate into something more. And then you'll be given direction to take action. Okay? So if it resonates, then it does. You'll know because it's going to resonate. It's going to be a current situation that you are practically able to see in your life, okay? Or relate to. And so that's what I have for Wombat Spirit. Thank you for stopping by. Again, this is a general read for many people. If it does not resonate, don't try to make it fit. It's for somebody. It just may not be for you. But like, share, comment, subscribe, and there will be a next time. Maybe this one didn't. Maybe number 1 does. Maybe number 3 will. This was reading number 2. And I am going to allow you to kind of chew on that if it did resonate. And we're going to go over to our next reading. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and thank you for stopping by my group number 2s for Wombat Spirit. All right. The Butterfly Spirit is the reading that is last. This is number 3. And the most beautiful one to me. All of them are beautiful, but something about butterflies that just enchants me. Their fragility, but their extreme beauty and the grace. It just feels like a lot of feminine energy for me. I love it. This was the number 11, and this one was for our last 4 signs, which is Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, and Pisces. And it is a master number 11. So this is all about transformation and beauty. Joy and the beautiful lightness of being alive and creative in the world is the focus when butterfly spirit flutters before you. Transformation is inevitable as you grow into your most beautiful, empowered self. Indeed, you will go through some uncomfortable stages as you let go of the forms of your life that no longer fit the new you. Even relationships must go through shifts to match your new emerging self. If you focus on the beauty and not the challenges, stop taking yourself too seriously, you will soon know the miracle your soul wants to experience through you. Today is a day for joy, soul alight. Look around and see the beauty that is everywhere and in everyone, including you. This brings up something for me. Spirit has been saying the last couple of days, like, just fall in love with love. And we don't always have to have someone on the other side to experience love. Like, you can love. Like, you can appreciate the beauty of life and appreciate the fact that you have air in your lungs and you are able to respond, with certain experiences, or maybe you have certain connections that you appreciate and you're free to have a certain response to those connections. It doesn't always have to end with a certain result, or you don't always have to attach an outcome to it, right? Spirit is saying, just fall in love with love, the energy of love. And that is so beautiful. I've been experiencing that here. This is what this brings up. But transformation does not have to be as traumatic or dramatic as things may seem to be right now. Remember, change is the only true constant. That's the only thing that's guaranteed in life is change. And when you resist it, you create a tension within you as you refuse to accept the inevitable, right? This is like that, the death card in tarot. It's like Spirit is saying, you want to do this the easy way or you want to do this the hard way, because either you can come willingly or we can drag you. Okay, I'm getting that kind of energy with this. But in the moment, you might have forgotten the beauty and the joy of life as it moves through its seasons, right? You may have forgotten the joy and the beauty of being able to watch something wilt, knowing that in just a couple of months, it's going to come back to life. Its seasons as nature dictates. You are being faced with a choice now. You can struggle with the current conditions, refusing to surrender and see through the lens of lack and loss, or you can surrender to the grace that is calling you to allow life to take its course. Moving through the sadness and disappointment, right? It is a process. Like when we watch things wilt, yeah, it's wilting, but on the other side of that wilting is the new life that's promised, right? As soon as one door closes, guess what? It has just made room for the next one to open. And what if that next one that's opening is so much more beautiful than anything that you've ever experienced before? And so this is all about surrendering and allowing it to soften you, to invite you to bask in gratitude and see you through the lens of, curiosity, or allow you to see through the lens of curiosity. So these are the keys to tuning in. These are the keys to tuning into the infinite potential available to you now. That means there is no limit. We're the ones that put limits on things, or we're the ones that specify how it has to show up. The Spirit is saying, I never put any limits on what you're able to receive. You're the one that placed yourself under the glass ceiling. I didn't. So Butterfly Spirit knows the beauty and delight you are on the brink of discovering right now. For whoever you are, if you chose the Butterfly Spirit, You're being invited to let go and let it and trust that it is there for you. Let go and trust that it is there for you, whatever that is. Okay. Butterfly spirit. Something is transforming right now for you. So for my group butterfly spirit, and it's also about the 11, which is about this amazing transformational energy. I see 1111 all day long. So spirit is always talking to me about this energy of transformation. That is a master number. Again, a master number that talks about illumination. Something is being illuminated right now and being shown to you. If you are resonating with this energy, it's a spiritual message coming through loud and clear. And this is one of the most intuitive numbers of all that symbolizes spiritual awakening. And it's like a heightened psychic ability. Like you may be experiencing that right now. Deep connections and subconscious awakening. This is kind of like the bridge between the spiritual and the physical. So if you are seeing this number, spirit is talking to you loud and clear. Okay. Okay. So I got Jug here. I'm pulling from my T Oracle card deck. Lighthearted and carefree time. What did we just say? This is a time to not focus on what's transferring or what is ending, right? We look at the caterpillar that has to actually give. The caterpillar has to surrender the former body to the new one. Can you imagine? Of course, that's scary. You mean I have to die to my old self, to my old life, and go through this metamorphosis process in order to get with, it's like, well, what is it going to be? You don't know. We just know it's going to be beautiful. I haven't seen a butterfly that wasn't beautiful, but the caterpillar doesn't know that. The caterpillar doesn't know that. And so there's something about spirit letting you know part of that surrender is to take your focus off of what you're losing, to take your focus off of maybe even the disappointment and the pain that you may be feeling in this moment, and shift that back over to lighthearted, carefree time. The ways that I do that is music, meditation, and learning. Like whatever your passions are, those are my passions. But whatever your passions are, like that's a perfect time to engage. For those that like to travel, maybe that's a time where you can go and travel. Do something that you love, that inspires you from the inside out, because you are being guided. Right now, you should be enjoying life, Spirit is saying, because of what is happening. What is about to be illuminated in your life is going to be something so beautiful. You may not even be able to maintain your composure. It's going to be so beautiful. And so this might be a time where Spirit is guiding you to be lighthearted and carefree, knowing that what is coming is going to be better than what has been. Yeah, egg is coming out as well, talking about a successful, assured, good plans and hard work. You could be someone who is a very hard worker and has sown or planted things. Egg is really representative of something being born or being birthed. It's that same transformational energy. Something is about to be born. Something that you have been nurturing and caring for and watching over. Success is assured. Spirit is saying, oh, this is going to happen. This is happening, right? Nothing can stop this. Your plans, okay? Then I also say parrot here, which brings in a little bit of a nasty energy, right? There's always something to try to thwart the good, but it doesn't work. It won't happen. So there could be someone who is carelessly talking, right? Maybe even about something that they have no business speaking about. Maybe this is somebody that doesn't even have their own mind, right? When I think of a parrot, I think of somebody that just repeats without even any thought. There's no thought to repeating something. And so it's just like aimless talk that may be happening. Be careful of that. And then be careful of people that you share information with. Spirit is saying that too. Not everybody is worthy to open up to. Okay. there's different kinds of leaves. Know the kinds of leaves that pass through your life. Some come to stay. Some are just passing through for a time, for a season, for a moment. You know, so know the different types of, you know, situations that you find yourself in. Be very aware of that. Okay. And then we have Vase, which is secret admirer. For whoever you are, I feel like there's someone who could be digging you on a deep level, seeing you as something. When I look at a vase, this vase is very beautifully decorated. They may see you as an acquired taste, or there's something about you that's very exquisite or very something that you would definitely handle gently, something that is special. I'm going to say that. You have a secret admirer that sees you in this way. Okay. I'm so down for you. I see you from the inside. I'm so down for you. Last, we have Hat. You will be playing a different role. Ooh, okay. So it looks like there's some changes coming up. When this transformation is done, you will find yourself in a whole different position, right? With a whole nother role that you'll be playing. Let's find out what is going on here. That may be, you know, you being ushered into, you know, another area of life where you get to experience joy. This is going to be something different than what you are currently doing. You may find yourself in the future doing something totally different than you had even expected. Okay. You'll be playing a different role. Interesting. What else do we need to know? I'm going to pull from my astrology deck, houses, signs, and planets. Okay. Let's see what we're talking about here. More information on this, please, Spirit. All right. So the only houses that came out is the 5th house and the 6th house. And so the 5th house talks about, first of all, we're talking about the power of this thing that we call love, the power of love, and also the energy around how you exert your resources, like your investments, risks, gambles, and other types of activities or interactions. And the fact that you have this energy of creating these opportunities or these situations. Like the 5th house is sometimes talking about how you engage with life, how you create your creations, your engagements. And then we go to the 6th house, which is about how you show up in service to others, like the work that you do. And the fact that you acknowledge your calling, right? So whatever that is, your work, this is what's coming out in your reading, like the risks right now. I feel like how you create opportunities or you manifest certain things. That's what I'm feeling like in the 5th house. This is talking about you manifesting from this place of your emotions. Your love is very potent right now, creating these opportunities. And then something about your work coming out. The work that the service that you provide for others, that's beneficial. Your work, that's what's coming out here. So you may in fact find yourself doing something that you hadn't even really realized was on your path. That may be different in the future. It's that you may find yourself wearing a whole different hat. So for some of you, you may be on path for a different line of work in the future, or you may find yourself within your line of work, but doing something totally different than you are doing right now. I feel like that's what's coming out. What else? I do have Sagittarius energy, Leo energy, and Capricorn energy. Okay. So there's a lot to be understood right now in this energy. And Sagittarius brings that energy of wanting to understand, diving deep underneath the surface, looking for answers, philosophizing the reality of a situation, looking and pulling wisdom out of the experiences and being able to dissect those experiences to gain understanding. So this feels like a very deep time, maybe. Through this transformation, there's a lot of understanding that you will gain or pull out of this transformational experience that you're in. I do feel like also there's a heavy level of leadership that you may find yourself in right now with the Leo energy. I do feel a lot of creative energy here with this egg. And also the fifth house, a lot of creative energy coming out. A lot of executive, creative energy. It's almost like you allowing your creativity to be unfurled. Being able to do what you want to do. You are the leader. You are setting the pace here. You may find yourself in this very emperor-like energy right now. And then Capricorn is just being really structured too. Delving in, getting maybe more organized. Your day-to-day reality may be calling you to get organized. If you are not, Capricorn energy is very resourceful and very oriented. It's almost like a business-like structure. So I'm getting a lot coming out around